know, we are celebrating the 4th of July this long weekend, and that's something I've always done. It's something that until recently, pretty much everybody did. Rich, poor, black, white, male, female, Southerners, Northerners, urban, rural. I mean, there was just something universal in our celebration of the day that marked our Declaration of Independence as a nation. As a kid, I loved the 4th of July. It meant hamburgers and hot dogs cooked outside, and sometimes even barbecue if meat prices weren't too high that summer, or if Joe Biden wasn't president. That's It also ain't happening this summer. It also meant watermelon and homemade ice cream that was made with an old-fashioned hand-turned bucket. There's some folks out here in this audience who remember that. They're old, too. It sometimes meant a trip to a public lake near my hometown, but the one thing that it was always about was believing America was a country worth celebrating. I mean, even when there really was racism, segregation in our schools, theaters, doctors' offices, and public facilities, most people would never say they hated America. They may have hated the unfair and deplorable treatment that some Americans received, but there was a love of country. And just to let you know, I haven't changed my mind about America after all these years. I still feel blessed to live in this land, and I've never stopped celebrating July 4th. I did stop turning the crank on the ice cream freezer because, by golly, it's just too easy to buy it already churned, to be honest with you. But I still love ice-cold watermelon and watching fireworks and hearing patriotic music. I love seeing the flags and banners and even going to a parade. I've been to several dozen countries on every continent. But even though I've seen some wonderful things and experienced some beautiful cultures and people, I have never been to a country and thought that I could or would trade my U.S. citizenship for life there. Not ever. Now, to be clear, protest and disagreement with the government doesn't void one's patriotism. In fact, think about it. The 4th of July is actually a celebration of the ultimate protest, an overthrow of an existing government of tyranny in order for people to live in liberty. The original July 4th was not just a protest, it was a revolution. It was a real insurrection, not like the theatrical version that Nancy Pelosi and Liz Cheney's little farce of a committee are breathlessly trying to scream about. Protest and disagreement are what 4th of July is all about. But a couple of observations. If someone in power doesn't really like your point of view, that person shouldn't have the right to cancel your voice, especially if the person deciding your free speech is some pajama-wearing 26-year-old snot working for Facebook or Twitter out of his mother's basement and sitting in front of his laptop all day with a bag of Cheetos in his lap, okay? Just shouldn't be. And it sure shouldn't be someone at the Justice Department or somebody at a school board who just doesn't like the way you think. And secondly, if you really are going to attempt to overthrow the government, you better show up with more than some flagpoles, bear spray, and funny hats. I mean, after all, you're going to be trying to overcome a government that has a standing military of 1.4 million people. And these are folks who have aircraft carriers, battleships, submarines, fighter jets, tanks, bombs, missiles, night vision equipment, attack drones, and a vast arsenal of nuclear weapons. Yeah, you might want to assess your capacity for success if your main leader is a guy who's wearing body paint and wearing a headdress made up of animal horns. You're probably not going to make this work. So have a great 4th of July. But you might want to stick to baseball, barbecue, burgers, the beach, and band music this year. But I'll say this: happy birthday, America.